Our third speaker today is Leile Sims. Leile is the head of people and culture at Powerco, where she's been for around 4 years. Previously worked at Fonterra, where she supported operational leadership of over 3,000 people working at manufacturing sites across the central and lower North Island. So Leile's clearly familiar with people management and people issues and workforce development. Leile's driven by a passion for creating a workplace where people are valued holistically, and she believes in shaping roles to align business needs with individual strengths, and developing leadership that prioritizes genuine connection to enhance performance. Thank you, Leile.
So I've heard you've heard a lot about the challenge we have with regard to not enough people. Yeah, there's no silver bullet for this. There's no one thing that is going to get us through this incredible challenge. I could talk about multiple possibilities here, and I've heard some great suggestions from the first two speakers. I'm just going to talk a little bit about a couple of the things that we're doing that we think are starting to turn the dial a wee bit, but we're nowhere near ready for what's coming. So we'll start off with a little quiz. Last speaker, right? Is this it? We're almost there, okay? So I just got to go wake you up a little bit. So little quiz. How many women do you think work in the gas part of Powerco? Or you can have a chocolate. You're close. You've got the right number of digits. How many people? Not enough. Who said not enough?
Stop.
We've got one of them sitting in the front here. They're counting on their fingers. One last guess. 30%. Oh, that is a good guess. Okay, so it's 12, right? Well, that's 32%. What was that?
For the Workforce Development Council, we said you had 11.
Oh, we just like actually, David just did. Yeah, David just hired someone called Lizzie. So, well, we're going to have to change it, mate. But, it's not enough, right? Who thinks the electricity part of our business is doing better? Nope. So we've got a really long way to go, okay? And it's not going to be solved by one thing. But one of the things that we're looking at is how diversity and, more importantly, inclusion can help with this. So at the moment, 32% of our gas part of the business are women, but we know that there's a bunch of them out there that could possibly be great and come and work for us if we could be attractive enough, or if we could retain the ones that we've got, right? So we've got a big strategy around attraction and retention, okay? I'm not going to talk you through that today. It's multifaceted. There's all sorts of things that are in there. Some of them are working, some of them aren't. But diversity and inclusion is something that we're noticing is making a difference. We've got two kind of big rocks in this space that we're pouring a lot of our energy into. One of them is leadership, so the way that our people lead. A lot of our leaders have been to Dare to Lead training, which is a Brene Brown. If you're familiar, anyone heard of Brene Brown? Nice. So we've had about 70 of our people be through Dare to Lead so far, so a lot of them leaders. And we're just about to run an in-house Dare to Lead session up here in Taranaki. And we've invited people across the industry. So we've got people coming from other businesses across the industry, including gas. They're going to come along too, because it's actually really expensive and it's never offered here. So we're offering it here for our people and other industries. So this training, it basically helps people understand that the connection and knowing themselves is really important to be able to lead empathetically and create a workplace where people want to be and are valued and seen. We're also creating our own development program. So we've actually got the wonderful Greer in the front here, who was part of our first cohort of our leadership development program. We're on to our second program now. What makes this different for us is that, one, we build it ourselves. So it's bespoke to what we're looking for and what we need as a business, which, as you know, every business is different. We didn't want something where consultants came in and built something. We wanted something that was based on our needs and our people and what we wanted to build for a future workforce. It relies heavily on aspects like learning about yourself. So before you can lead others and create a workforce where people really can thrive and want to be, you have to understand yourself and what makes you tick, and then you can start to unlock other people and what makes them tick. We have a very strengths-based approach to leadership at Powerco. So, and this again is very relevant when you think about diversity and inclusion. What makes us different is what makes us powerful. In a team, you want a bunch of different kinds of people so you can get work done, but you then actually have to know what your team are good at. And so we put our people through the opportunity to go through strengths assessments where they learn what are they really passionate about, and what are they good at, what are they not good at. And then we don't actually focus on what they're not good at. We say, hey, don't do that stuff. We'll get someone else to do that stuff. What are your superpowers? And is your role aligned to those superpowers? And where it's not, we will try really hard to adjust things so that they are. We can't always do that. And sometimes you have to do things in a job you don't love, and that's just reality. But it shouldn't be full of things that you don't love. You shouldn't be wading through treacle. So we teach our leaders about themselves. We help them understand Te Ao Māori principles. We've now in our second cohort started teaching about Te Reo Māori as well. And then we help them understand the business. So we don't just look at ourselves, we also then, what do we bring to the business? How does the business make money? But what we're really doing is teaching leaders how to create an environment where people can thrive for being themselves. Because if we want to have a big enough workforce, we need to be attractive to the broadest church of people. So there's not enough of the kind of people that we've already got working for us left. We have to be attractive to a new type of person, a younger person, a person that might not have considered a professional career. We have to be able to make it a place where they want to be. So these are the leaders of the future in Powerco. This is our second cohort of our leadership development program. Very diverse bunch, and a lot of women in there. But they are so excited about learning how to create an environment where people are valued for being who they are, not who we want them to be. The next big kind of rock in our diversity and inclusion framework is psychological safety. Anybody heard of psychological safety? Yeah? Nice, David. Good. So the concept of psychological safety sometimes gets confused with psychosocial safety. Psychosocial safety is a health and safety principle around workplace hazards. Psychological safety is a concept around the trust that is built within a team. And it essentially means if you're in a psychologically safe environment, that you feel safe to speak up, to challenge, to bring your ideas to the table. It's a really important aspect of safety, because if you see something going wrong and you don't speak up, we all know how tragic that can be. It's also a really important aspect of performance because it allows for innovation. It allows people to give things a go. They might make mistakes safely. It's okay. We don't focus on blame. We focus on opportunity. So we've run psychological safety workshops for our entire employee base. So across the whole footprint, we started out training our leaders how to build a psychologically safe environment. And now we're training our people how to be part of a psychological safe environment. Because it's not just the leader's responsibility to create an environment where people want to be. Everybody in the team has the capability and obligation to create a safe environment. So what we're seeing from this is, interestingly, we're getting inundated in the people team. People are more likely now to not accept when an environment is not psychologically safe. They expect to be able to raise things. They expect to not be shot as the messenger, and that's great. There's no point having a diverse workforce if you don't give the people that you've invited to the table a voice. There's no point bringing a diverse workforce into your organisation if they don't stay because they don't get to be themselves and they're not valued for the things that they do. I've heard people speak about inclusion and diversity and say, oh, there's no point talking about inclusion. You've got to focus on diversity first. But I would argue, no, we need to build a workforce where people want to be first. And so that is one of the many facets of this way that we can meet the capability challenge ahead of us, is how we can build those workplaces where people want to be and where people want to stay.